That which is cosmic awareness is available and greets one and all to this very special moment in time and space. The moment of your full focus, the moment of your participation in the events that are occurring to you in this very moment, in this very instant. That which is the energy of this awareness is available to you all now. And this awareness would at this time ask for you all to simply stay focused, to be open to receive the energies of this awareness, energies that it will be sending out to you now in a moment of silence, a moment to bring yourself into the space of your heart and to know that you are fully participating in an event of a great nature, the event of the soul, as you are expanding into that soul space of your own being, that this awareness will send its energies to one and all now. That the energies of this awareness have been sent, and you are all contained within the energy fields, the frequencies of that which is cosmic awareness, that which is divine source. That today this awareness would speak to you of a very important issue that needs to be looked into, that needs to be opened up to. That it will call this the crisis of the periphery, that which is the surrounding energies that you are involved in your life, that are occurring in your lives at this very moment, and in the days and weeks of your journey, in both the past and the future. That this is a special time, but a challenging time. The roller coaster is already plummeting down, twisting, turning, curving along the trackway. And you are involved in this wonderful, wild, passionate ride. But as has been spoken, often there is terror when things of great significance are happening, when events are occurring that you do not quite understand, that you do not quite get. That as you take the ride and as it is plummeting through and twisting, turning, loop-de-looping, it is a situation of choice as well. The choice to be relaxed in this ride and to let it take you where it will, or to go into fear and panic, into resistance. This is the level of the periphery that is occurring to you, that is of significance now to many of you. The periphery is that which exists on the outside, if you will, of your own focus. If you look forward, you have a natural focus to that which is ahead of you. That which is your peripheral vision is that which is in shadow, that which is not seen clearly. It is in the periphery that the monsters lie. It is in the periphery where the energies are of a nature of shadow, the unconscious. And that which is held in the periphery is often not viewed, nor is there even a wish for it to be reviewed by you. Because to look into the darkness and the shadow of the periphery would mean that you need to look at the monsters that are lying there in the shadow, that you need to look at the issues that have not been brought into the focus. And yet, this awareness would say that the whole field of vision very much includes the periphery. It is not simply about central vision. It is not simply about being focused on that which is immediately in front of you, but to become aware of that which is on the periphery, that which is on the outside. To be able to look into the shadow realm, to be able to allow that which are the unconscious programmings that you may have in your own lives to become exposed, to be brought out into the light, to be focused upon. That for many, there is a wish not to look at the shadow realm, at the periphery. But now, for many, it is being forced into their conscious awareness. That is why this awareness is calling it the crisis of the periphery. That is why this awareness is bringing this matter up now. For many of you are starting to experience those events, those circumstances, those thoughts, those beliefs that they have not wanted to look at, that you have not wanted to look at for some time. Many have a desire within themselves to bring into the light, into the focus, that which are the unconscious blocks and barriers. But for many, it is still too frightening to look at this, too frightening to bring forward any thoughts, beliefs, attitudes, experiences that do need healing, that do need resolution and resolving. Yet now is the time when the periphery is acting up, and it is almost as if, even against your will perhaps it would seem, that these events, these memories, these thoughts are starting to come up. Things that have been squashed down, things that have been held back, things that have been too challenging for you to look at, be it on a personal level, a family level, a regional level, national level, or even globally. But such is the energy and thoughts and desires of the divine source itself, to help all through this most difficult of times, that the need to look at the very factors of life that are hidden, that are in the shadow, that are unresolved, need now to be brought forward. You can fight it. You can resist it. You can say, no way. I do not want to look at anything that causes me too much challenge, that is too painful, that is too scary. But this awareness is saying to you at the same time, now is the time to start to be able to say yes to those unconscious beliefs, thoughts, memories, to those factors that lie in the periphery that have not been looked at, that have not been brought to the surface, have not been brought into the light. For to do so now is that which will give you freedom. To not do so now is that which will hold you captive and prisoner to the old programming, the old beliefs and attitudes that you have been programmed with, that you have been raised with, that you have held all of your life because it was never politically kosher or personally correct to deal with issues that could cause you difficulty, that could cause you emotional upheaval. Indeed, it is the thinking still held by the majority that one is not to look at these matters and simply is to go forward, to continue on, to suppress that which has not been looked at and where there is a fear, and to look at the deepest issues that are there on the periphery and in the periphery. If you have the courage to say, yes, I am ready now to bring forward that which I have avoided, that which has scared me, that which is indeed the energy of the monsters in the shadow that I have run away from all of my life, then this awareness can guarantee you that they will present themselves, these issues, these matters, these memories, in such a way that you will be able to deal with them. There is one known as Joseph Campbell who once spoke of the hero's journey, wrote of this journey, and how it was that for most they have run all of their lives because something has been chasing them. because there is a monster that is pursuing them. And that this one said that what is needed is to turn around and to face the monster, for that is what each hero must finally do. Face the monsters, the demons, those forces of the shadow that they have not dealt with, that they have not looked at, that they have run away from all of their lives. He further stipulates that when one finally faces the monster, the dragon, the shadow, one will realize it is not this gigantic being that will consume them, but rather a small mouse of an entity, being, force, energy, that once faced and once put in perspective can be dealt with. But to not deal with this means that you will expand it, you will hold it to be much greater than it really is. As this is now a time where the ride is continuing, and it is a scary ride, a terrifying ride, an exciting ride, an exhilarating ride, that all you really have is your power to choose how to have this experience, how to put it into a framework for yourself that allows you to deal with the crisis in the periphery. This is a crisis that certainly is happening in the external world, that you can see, even if you are still watching the controlled and fake news media, how it seems around the planet there are many places where there are events happening that are overthrowing and challenging the existing order of things. And certainly in the United States, with all the events that are occurring there, this is most obvious. But it is also happening in other countries such as France and England and Europe, and in the Asian countries, the African nations, South America, all around the world. Events are occurring on the periphery that really cannot be avoided any longer, that must be looked at and embraced. But remember, this too is but a reflection of that which is occurring in your own personal lives. And therefore, even though one may be involved in observing what is occurring out there, and maybe even is drawn into it somewhat, this is still that which is external to you. It is personal to the degree you make it personal, but it is really still that which is outside of your circle, and thus it is on the periphery. At the same time, many of you are now starting to experience in your own personal way that which is the crisis of the periphery, that which is being brought forward for you now. Some have greater need to look at their monsters in that they are so huge, so powerful in their lives, or so it is assumed and believed, that not to do so would create the situation in your choices that because of fear you would avoid the very issues, the monsters, the demons, the energies that by looking at them can be vanquished now. For others who have been looking at their monsters, have been opening themselves up, have been doing the deep inner work, the emotional, the mental, the spiritual work, you may find that these times are still presenting you challenges, but your way of handling it is more along the lines of saying, this is natural, this is the journey, this is what I have always prepared myself for, have worked towards, so that the journey itself can be that exciting, wonderful journey that brings twists and turns to you, that you are fully competent and capable of dealing with and handling. As you look at this from that elevated level of the trinary, of the third point of view and the third perspective, that being, if you will, from above, and you look at your life in that dualistic way, where you have a choice to act or react this way, act or react that way, you will see that actually both are simply positions held, and that by being involved at the dualistic binary level where you are so absorbed by the issues that you cannot see it any other way than what is for you the right way, that would show you, that would bring to you the realization that by removing yourself from the immediate participation of judgment in matters and taking it to the third point of view, the trinary point of view, how you can balance both choices out, both alternatives out. For example, right now, there is an event occurring worldwide where many are coming forward who are trying to push the socialist agenda. Indeed, there is one in the political arena in America who is gaining much attention in recent times, a young woman, this being Alexandra OcasioCortez, that many are shocked with the degree of her thoughts on the socialist agenda and what is needed in America. Many can see that what she is proposing will destroy the fabric of America, reducing it to a third world nation. And from a dualistic point, one could step into that space and oppose her and call her ridiculous and absurd. Others might support her. They would then be calling those who are in opposition to such socialist ideas as ridiculous and absurd. But both are still from that dualistic level. If one steps beyond this and moves to a perspective, the trinary perspective, the third perspective, that sees that she is presenting that which needs to be presented to help others see it more clearly, how it could be if she had her way, if the socialist agenda manifested itself at a time where humans have not quite reached that place of total compassion and heart-centeredness, and how it could be used against people. But one could also see how she is playing a role, consciously or unconsciously, how she is being set up, if you will, by divine source itself, to be one who can bring such a projection of reality forward that will challenge others to look at the bigger picture, to realize this is not simply a choice between A and B, but rather to see how consciousness itself is starting to be worked and developed in a new time, a new space that you are moving into and are already in. And then you can hold that this woman is, for her own reason, doing that which Spirit requires of her, without perhaps even understanding it. There is conjecture and even argument that she is a white hatter, and some saying she is doing this on purpose, and many more who do not agree with this, who say she is a socialist millennial, who is seeing it in that very limited and idealistic way that could bring great damage to the nation. But if you move beyond both of these positions and look at it simply as evidence that there are changes happening and that there are different ones who are taking different roles, consciously or unconsciously, to help the shift in consciousness that is taking place right now, then you will have a completely different way of handling a situation that for many people becomes quite emotional, not simply with AOC, but with Donald Trump, with the Democrats, Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, the whole cast of characters. And if you come from the third perspective, where you are not swept into the periphery, where you can hold it because you are looking at it, openly looking at it from both perspectives, that this becomes a way to deal with the crisis in the periphery. This you can even apply to your own situations, in that which is happening to you on a daily level in the ongoing journey of your life. And that you can start putting yourself out of personal attachment to an outcome, to the higher perspective that allows you to see what it is really about, what the bigger picture might be. Therefore, at this time, that which is known as the crisis in the periphery, that which is being presented as the crisis in the periphery, becomes the greatest opportunity for you to move personally into the space beyond, into that which is the lunatic fringe, and to become comfortable with the lunatic fringe, the space beyond, the periphery. These are exciting times for this. These are exciting times because of this. Those who can enjoy the ride will find it rewarding. Those who are in resistance and in denial will find it as a most difficult time, whether on the personal level or the external level. It is up to you. For Divine Source gives you this option, allows you to make your choices, and it does not matter to this awareness, to Divine Source itself, what your choice is. For you are always surrounded by the love and the light of this awareness, the love and the light of the divine, the love and the light of your own soul group and family. As you begin to feel the energies of the divine in your life, you begin to realize more and more how it is that you can live in the exact focus of life, in the present moment, the moment of your power, this moment, and to see it clearly, to understand it deeply, and to allow that which you have called into your life to be seen by you. No longer shadows, no longer monsters, no longer demons hiding on the outside waiting to jump on you, but rather the challenges you set for yourself in your own planning of your life. This does not mean that all will be resolved instantly, but it is that big first step, another big first step of many, that you can take now as you bring your life into balance, into harmony, and into focus, and into spirit. That this awareness is complete with its opening message.